This is Buddy with Big Motor, Small Blade, live from Carb Day practice here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously, whoa! There's a wreck. This is the Big Motor, Small Blade podcast, or I guess we should come up with a different name because it is the Big Motor, Small Blade podcast, but we are covering the Indianapolis 500. So I feel like we need to ponder a name.
I
for
100%
IndyCar.
feel like Indy cars run with big motors and small blades, especially at the Indianapolis 500.
That's true, but that's let's try to conjure up a name for an IndyCar for when we do IndyCar.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get back to that one, I guess.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm Buddy Pulley. He's Seth Dolby. Like I said, this is pod talking about the Indy 500. Normally, obviously, we don't cover IndyCar. You've never seen an IndyCar race covered on our channel. But we were at the Indianapolis 500. And if we go to a race, we're going to cover it, whether we know what we're talking about or not. So,
contrary to popular belief, we have been watching IndyCar for years now.
yes, we have. Yeah. Some of us are a little bit more brain dead about it than others.
That's okay.
You can determine at the end of this podcast which one of us it is.
It may be both. We're not.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, I mean, you guys probably listen to our NASCAR podcast and realize that we're both brain dead about that too. Anyway. The Indianapolis 500. Seth, it was your fifth time going.
Yes, it was.
It was my first Indianapolis 500. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration, and Buddy Pulley finally goes to the Indianapolis 500.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's hot. And
bless America.
That wasn't nearly the hottest 500 I've been to, but yeah, it was warmer than I'd like it to be.
Dude, the sun was not closer to turn 3 than it was anywhere else, but it was close. It was pretty damn close to turn 3 at the Indy 500.
Buddy's taking the piss a little bit. It was fairly comfortable for an Indy 500. You weren't there in 18.
Oh yeah, I wasn't.
18 was ungodly hot.
Dude, where did you sit in 18?
The turn 3 backstretch.
Turn 3 backstretch. Okay.
Yeah.
The sun just fucking just like
turn 3. Well, yeah, turn 3 there's no shade anywhere. I guess it's the same in turn 4 and turn 2. Turn 1's about the only place you get any sort of shade, but
yeah, it was like, plus we were packed in there like sardines, man.
Yeah, I
remember. Go ahead.
I looked to Colin, my brother, for all of you, about halfway through the race, and I said I really missed last year. And we had about a third of the people there. Dude, you could spread out. You could like put your feet up. You could lean back. That shit was awesome.
I have never been to. I mean, do you think you know what 300,000 people like looks like? You have no idea.
Not until you see it in person.
I mean, it is a 2.5 mile facility. People are on the inside and out of that place. Everywhere is fucking packed.
Yeah.
It is insane. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's as much of a spectacle as the races itself.
Yeah, it is. Oh God, the people watching is insane too. That was might have been my favorite part of the damn race was when we were walking into the infield with Kyle, walking back to the media center, and damn people watching of the zombies walking out of the snake pit, and they were zombies.
That's the second time I've walked past the snake pit after the race, and it's as entertaining each time. The time before, everybody was like caked in mud. This time wasn't quite as bad.
Yeah, I saw quite a few people caked in mud.
Yeah, this one wasn't quite as bad as the last time. I think it rained a lot, the day before. But
yeah, just the. We went into where the snake pit was on Friday, just still in there for a minute, and even then I got muddy just in the couple minutes we were in there, and then I can't imagine being in there for the entire Indianapolis 500.
It had rained that day earlier though, too, so that was part of it.
Yeah. Dude, it is just the sheer amount, like like I said, you think you know what that amount of people looks like. And they're, oh my God, they're everywhere.
Yeah. It's, you could go on and on about it for ages. It's hard to imagine how many people are there. And even then, like once the race is over and the place is kind of cleared out, you go in the infield, there's still a shit ton of people everywhere.
Kyle had a great idea. We were talking about this a little bit throughout the race. Just how close the seats are in turn 3. I don't know how it is in other parts of the track, but there's no like back to your seat. You have zero back support.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. But Kyle made a good point. He was like, dude, they ought to make this like Bristol, put grandstands around the entire facility, keep the same capacity, but put in like backs to your seat and trays like they do at Charlotte.
I'm surprised they haven't, at the very least, done the seats around thing. I'm surprised there's so many gaps. Not like you said, they do pack everybody in like sardines, so it makes up for it. But yeah, I think part of it too, they want to sell those freaking stadium seat things. So that's another rental you can buy, and that's another way to boost revenue.
Oh yeah, I guess you can do that.
Yeah, which honestly, probably next year I might do it because my back fucking kills me. My ass and my back kill me by the end of that race. We'll sit down for like 40 laps for a run, or even longer. Like last year, it was, we only had 2 cautions, but we'll sit down for 40, 50, 60 laps, depending on the run. And then people will be like standing up for like 2 laps after a restart, and they're like, all right, fuck it, I'm back to sitting. I'm like, it's uncomfortable as fuck to sit down right now. Why are you people like this? And then I feel like an asshole for standing up for the first 5 laps after the restart, which I shouldn't. They should all just kiss my ass, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the atmosphere at the Indy 500s is something different. I mean, everyone is so engulfed and so in tune with the traditions and the spectacle that is the greatest spectacle in racing. It is something that is definitely a bucket list thing for anyone, racing fan or not, just as an American or even as a human being on this earth. It is truly just a absolute must.
Yeah,
for anyone.
If you think you've done everything and you haven't been to the Indy 500, book now. You have not done everything.
Dude, it took me, God, how many, I mean, what I had it was, like I said, 20 years of trying, like,
yeah,
it was like Dale Earnhardt trying to win the 500, just me getting to the damn race.
We were joking, like, I don't know, a month ago, I was like, I still don't believe you're actually going to the Indy 500.
No, I didn't either. Yeah.
And then we had a flat tire on the way.
I've had tickets to this race, and something came up and I couldn't go. I was about to buy tickets one year, and then like my car absolutely just shit on me. We were obviously going to go in 2020. Like everything was set in stone. Everything was good.
We were ready to go in 2020.
Ready to go. And then obviously we all know what happened. And then last year I didn't even try. Kind of glad because of the outcome. And yeah, I think that is one thing that maybe I'm a complete pompous ass for this. But because I don't follow IndyCar religiously, and as great as the Indianapolis 500 was, my heart belongs to the Coca-Cola 600. It's my home track. It's where I'm from. It's where I've been going for my whole life. So, and maybe my mind would have been changed if I was there. But last year with Elio Castroneves winning his fourth, quote unquote, his fourth Indy 500. Some people with logic might beg to differ. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I went this year and not last year.
Last year was a much better race, though.
Yeah.
Nothing against this race, but last year was something else. Every time I think about the race last year, I get excited. It was so fun.
I don't even remember.
It was so good.
Getting into this year's race though, there was a lot of buildup. Obviously, a lot of people were wondering, could Elio do, win 5? Again, quote unquote 5. Indianapolis 500.
They counted as 4, so yeah, it would be 5.
Quote unquote 5. He joined the club, and so that was a big story coming in. Big Ganassi. They had 5 guys in the show. I mean, all of them stupid fast. Jimmy Johnson, obviously, his first Indianapolis 500. Romain Grosjean, his first Indianapolis 500. And there was just a lot of things and a lot of buildup and a lot of buzz around this race. And you look back at the month, like, let's take Jimmy Johnson for instance. I mean, the man's proved why he's a 7-time Cup champion. I mean, he's never raced an IndyCar he raced an IndyCar on Oval at Texas. Never raced the Indy 500. Goes out there, hits the wall, and goes right back out like nothing happened. And has one of the most amazing saves, puts it on the top of the board at one point, makes the fast 12. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, man. Let's talk about Jimmy. Let's talk about his race. I mean, he ran a respectable race.
Yeah, in a race that was all about track position, and you couldn't really pass all that well, and they got kind of caught out by a caution and a pit during a pit cycle. He ran a good race, honestly.
Yeah, obviously he ended up in the wall there. A couple laps to go. We got to see Jimmy lead a lap.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, see him lead a lap.
We were hoping for an all-out downpour at that exact moment.
Yes. Yeah. I think I was the only one in the grandstands. When he took the lead, I was like, rain, let it rain. It's so weird.
You felt that, right? You felt that.
Yeah. It was so weird pulling for Jimmy Johnson. I could think of many Memorial Day weekends where I was just absolutely livid at Jimmy Johnson for winning the fucking race. Yeah. And here I was pulling for the man's. But no, I mean, he had a great month of May, and obviously he won Rookie of the Year. There's some arguments to be, yeah. I mean, okay, but go ahead and lay out your argument as to why you don't think he necessarily deserved it.
I mean,
maybe he didn't deserve it, but he wasn't the top pick.
Yeah, there were three rookies that finished ahead of him, and I understand. They do take into account impact and fan interaction and stuff like that with Indy 500 Rookie of the Year. But I mean, the 3 of them finished in like the top 15, I think is what it was. Like that's
who was it?
Worthy.
What 3?
Malukas was the first. Kirkwood and hell, I don't remember what the third one was.
I mean, there's only one more rookie. The other 3 wrecked.
Yeah.
Was it
whomever the hell it was?
Son of a bitch.
I would remember if I wasn't trying to recite it right now.
Yeah, I know.
But
right?
Anyway, the point.
Yeah.
Oh, Devlin DiFrancesco.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. He ran a good race too. Kind of forgot he was in it. His car and Grosjean's car looked too similar. I got them confused. But I don't know. I feel like you can't get and it's not like Jimmy was running top 5 all day and then wrecked late. It wasn't his fault, but they were running 25th or
where did Malukas finish?
I think it was like 12th or 13th.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Jimmy all month was the top rookie all month long. He was the fastest rookie. He was, for the most part, the most consistent. And I feel like, yeah, he probably wasn't on track to finish ahead of Malukas or Kirkwood or DeFrancesco. But as far as like the overall month, I felt like Jimmy was at the top. And if Jimmy wasn't at the top, it wasn't Dave Malukas or DeFrancesco or who was the other one you named? Kirkwood.
Yeah.
It wasn't them.
Or Grosjean.
It was no. If it wasn't Jimmy Johnson, it was Romain Grosjean.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
All month long, and Romain Grosjean was the one who was running the highest when he had the incident. I would argue Colin Milot.
Forgot about him.
He had a great month. The three guys who I felt like had the best month of the rookies crashed out.
Yeah.
So I feel like you kind of got to look at it. Now, you never know what would have happened. Grosjean and Ilott crashed out early. And then Jimmy obviously crashed out with 5 or 6 to go. I feel like that's my argument for Jimmy is he was the best rookie, and the ones who you're making the argument for Malukas and those guys, they ran just granted Jimmy screwed up.
Yeah.
Because he 100% screwed up. But as far as overall month, he had overall a better month, I felt like, than they did.
Yeah, so I that's a fair argument if you're making it a whole month thing, and that's essentially the first time Jimmy put a big foot wrong. He did get in the wall off too earlier in the month, but it was very minor. Had a big save during qualifying.
Yeah.
That took him out of a chance to probably qualify in the first 2 rows.
Yeah. I think
who knows, his race is probably set up better anyway too if that doesn't happen as well.
Exactly. It was so hard to pass. He kind of put himself in a hole at the start, and him not being as experienced, I mean, he definitely was at a disadvantage there. I'm not trying to make excuses for Jimmy Johnson because he is a world-class driver, but I've always looked at the Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year as an overall month.
Yeah, that's
Kurt Busch won it. Granted, he finished 6th in the race. Had an absolutely great run. But the whole month he did well. People argue that maybe Fernando Alonso shouldn't have gotten Rookie of the Year in 2017 because of where he finished. He blew an engine. He can't help that. You know where he was when he blew an engine? He was leading the fucking race. And he did fantastic all month long. Like, so I feel like
wasn't Ed Jones literally leading at the end of the race though at the end of that thing and finished like 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, he finished 3rd.
3rd, yeah.
Yeah, but
so there's an argument to be made for both sides of this, I think. And I think your argument's solid. I think the counter argument's also solid. But
yeah. That's what I think. I think Jimmy. What's up, Happy? I think Jimmy deserved to win Rookie. You can make an argument for, a couple of those guys, but I think I don't have a problem, as much of a problem as it seems like everybody else does, that Jimmy got Rookie of the Year. I think it's more getting stirred up just because it's Jimmy Johnson, and people want to play devil's advocate because they think they're cool. And
I mean, it doesn't like irk me or anything. It was just kind of like one of those. Yeah, there were several rookies that did very, very good and finished the race, and so I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was worth bringing up.
Yeah, another rookie, Callum Ilott. Sorry, he had Ryan Hunter-Reay as a driver coach, so I was pulling for him a little bit. Obviously, big fan of the proud American boy Ryan Hunter-Reay. He had an okay month. He was pretty quick for a Yumco's car. And then he ended up crashing there early in the race, and that kind of sucks. And he broke his hand.
Yeah. That's rough.
Get well. Callum, Santino Ferrucci is going to be covering for him at where are they going next? Detroit. Yep. Yeah. So just want to give a shout out to Callum Ilott and get well soon, bud. Hopefully your hand gets better and you can come back stronger and
win.
Take some Tylenol. Walk
Take
it
some
off.
Tylenol. Get back out there.
Yeah,
Detroit
walk
ain't
it off,
that rough.
man. Yeah.
Detroit ain't that rough, man. You can do it.
Oh my God, dude! Those go-karts at Newcastle. I mean, just that track was relatively smooth, but damn, I mean,
it was smooth.
My hands were cramping up. I can't.
And...
Yeah, my hands were cramping up a little bit. And I can't imagine running through Detroit with a broken hand.
I had to do that number down the straightaway after like 5 minutes. I'm like, yikes.
yeah. We that was a good time.
We are not athletes.
no, we're not. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Not about how we're not athletes, but our experience during our
weekend. It was a fun time.
It was a good time. It started out wild. We literally are at the track, 5 minutes, something like that.
Well, no,
it felt like it. It was 20 or 30, but it felt like 5. We had just gotten to the track after a hell of a fucking drive up. And we get there. We're trying to go and meet David Land and Kyle and get go sit with them so we can hang out with them before they got to do stuff. Well, we decide, all right, that's a lost cause. So we go and stand in turn 1.
Yeah. Well, more accurately, we were in the short chute.
Yeah, we were in the short chute, kind of facing towards 1. We go to shoot a shot, and fucking we hear.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was more of a lower tone than that. It was more, but we hear a smack against the fucking wall.
Hear a smack, turn and see part of a car up in the air. We're like,
we see a car upside down. And it was obviously Colton Herta. Dude, we heard that thing. It is crazy hearing an Indy car hit the wall like that. I mean, dude,
I'd never heard.
I heard it and I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually been, because I've been to practice for the 500. I've been to, I've back when I used to go to the Grand Prix, and I don't think I've seen a car wreck on the oval until right then. And it was jarring.
I've seen a handful of cars wreck on the oval close. Obviously, we saw several of them from turn 3 wrecking turn 2, but I've seen a handful of them close, not that many. I have never heard one hit like that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then ran down there. Colton got out of the car. It was all right. He went bird up there for a minute. Dude, he we didn't. Yeah. But we didn't realize it. I'm sure some of you have seen the video. We got the damn thing on video, him going up in the air. I mean, take off. I'm over here just saying the dumbest shit in the world. I look over at Colton, look back at Seth. I'm like, yeah, we're here at Indy 500. I'm doing a bit and whatever. And
boom.
And it turns out we got the whole thing on camera.
I really wish the audio had caught that, because that was. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I would love to hear that sound again in that clip, but unfortunately, apparently our microphone's too good. Who knew? But
and this wreck, I mean, it led to Colton's just absolutely terrible day.
Oh, good God!
In the 500, I mean, the backup car was absolutely terrible. Something was wrong with the motor. I don't know exactly what, but Colton was. God, they were driving Indy cars and Colton was driving damn US of 2000 car. 2000. Like it was a rough time for Colton. We got the whole crowd cheering for him though.
We got all of section 18 at least going every time he come by there.
Cheer for Colton. Bit. Come on, man. You go and you feel like it, buddy. I gave him the shocker a couple times. Oh, man. Yeah, Colton had a rough month. Started out big. Maybe it was our fault.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know about all that.
We might have jinxed them.
I know the Coca-Cola 600. I mean, the World 600 can't be good unless you're somewhere else. But I don't know if we jinxed Colton Herta.
Yeah. Yeah. He won the GP. He had a good start.
He made the save of the year in the GP as well.
He did. Yeah, and he made up for it in the 500.
Pretty tough to save a car going 15 mile an hour.
What?
It doesn't step out on you when it's going that damn slow.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what are you trying to say?
I'm saying he wouldn't have had an opportunity to make a save like that in the 500 because the car was not going fast enough.
Oh, well, I meant
sideways on him.
Well, I meant he made up for saving the car by losing the car in the practice on carb day.
I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, and getting into more of the race, I mean, Grosjean crashed. It was kind of all month long. It seemed like he was a dart without feathers at times.
That's pretty much Roman Grosjean.
So. Yeah, it just seemed like he was a little bit overconfident, and he just lost it in turn two. Turn two was the hot spot. Saw 3 or 4 guys lose it. We saw him lose it. Obviously, we talked earlier, Callum Ilott, Jimmy Johnson. That's where Jimmy lost it. And then also Sage
at the end of the race. Yeah.
Sage. Oh, Rinus VeeKay.
Oh yeah.
That was a heavy hitter too.
That was
Rinus VeeKay was fast as shit all month, and he was really the main one who could challenge the Ganassi cars.
Yeah.
As far as all out speed, I mean, we got other guys could handle well enough to where they're not as trimmed out as the Ganassi cars and more set up for race setup. The Aero McLaren cars, for instance, they could hang it with the Ganassis, but Rinus VeeKay had the best of both worlds, and they could hang with them. And that was a heavy hitter to go out early there.
I almost asked if he was the only Chevy that was fast, and then I remembered that the McLaren cars are Chevy. So
yes, they are, Seth. Good job.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
to me they're supposed to be Hondas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were the fast. It was the fastest. What they say, it was the fastest Indy 500 field in history, and then also the closest.
Yeah, I'd heard definitely closest. Yeah, I think it was fastest too.
Yeah,
that's not counting the fact that only 32 cars actually posted qualifying times, but
yeah, well,
that's a technicality.
Yeah, well, way to shit on everything, Seth.
David brought it up first.
Yeah. Happy
wants to show everybody his butt.
Show me your butt. Oh my God. Yeah, that was one thing that I was just in awe of during the whole month, was just watching qualifying. I watched qualifying, but I never really paid too much attention to qualifying for the Indianapolis 500. And oh my God, we were on the edge of. I was on the edge of my seat wherever I was watching it.
Even if it was a pool.
I was watching the pool. I was watching it at work, and every time I was like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh my God!" Like it was.
I mean, dude, when Dixon came around that first lap and ran that, what was it, 2:34.5 or whatever it was?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
We both gasped.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit, dude, and that's like, it is insane. It is. You cannot put into. Like, this is what makes racing drivers what they are. This is why we love the sport, is because they are proving to everyone in this world right then and there. You can obviously, every professional racing series in the world, anyone who's in any sort of racing, chances are they have a special talent. They can't do that. But that is to the fullest effect, on the biggest stage and on full display, why racing drivers are so special, because they can do these superhuman things that we cannot fathom doing as normal humans. And that is what makes the Indy 500 qualifying for it just so special, is they are putting it all out on the line. They are on the ragged edge, going 240 fucking miles an hour, just like just fucking.
Well, and to the uninitiated,
hauling balls, dude.
Yeah, and to the uninitiated, driving on the street is dangerous because human beings are not evolved to process things at that speed. Imagine that times what, 4? Imagine it's like 60 miles an hour.
Yes.
Multiply that by 4 and you get what you got there. Your brain is not supposed to function at that speed and process information that quickly.
Yeah, and then bust the tail out.
And then make adjustments every corner.
Yeah, oh my god, the fucking yeah, I mean that's another thing that baffles me is like you just they're having to adjust the weight jacker to, you know, adjust the downforce and all this stuff. It's fucking, it is insane.
Yeah.
What they do. And that's just the build up to the race.
Yeah.
And then you get to the actual race and it's 500 miles of that. And
it's little baby bit slower, but yeah.
Yeah, baby bit slower. Yeah. That was something I noticed. And I think next year I'll be back at the 600, but I think I'm going to go to IndyCar qualifying for the 500 because that was something special to me. That was almost my favorite part of the month was qualifying.
Yeah, that it was, especially with the speeds that we got. Like that was I mean,
next year, experts say, and by experts, David Land says we could be seeing them going 240 like Ari did back in the day, which would be insane.
Yeah, we were talking about working on breaking track records in 2015 and 16, and then we started almost killing people. So forgive me if I'm a little bit skittish about doing that, but we've made some adjustments to the frames of the cars. Hopefully it would be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
see what happens.
We will see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get to you. Go ahead and
so yeah, I wanted to talk about the Jimmy Johnson thing. Obviously, we got that. I wanted to talk about how temperature. Obviously, racing is very temperature sensitive. Obviously, but we're, as you can tell, we're more well versed in the NASCAR end of things, which you probably know if you're watching this, but you may not. You may have just stumbled on this and think, oh, they're talking about the Indy 500. Cool, I'll watch. So anyway, that's the backstory. In a cup race, you'll get more movement from the cars when it's really hot out.
Yeah.
And that typically opens up passing opportunities. In IndyCar, in the 500, not specifically, but in the 500, the hotter it gets, the more everybody just kind of can't go anywhere. It's odd to me. I don't know if they're just dialing in a lot more downforce because of that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Yeah, I think they dial in a lot of downforce, and it makes it to where it's harder to get close to people. Yeah. And in turn makes it harder to pass. And I'm sure once you get closer and closer to that car drives worse, and it gets really hard to drive.
Yeah. It was brutal trying to set up a pass.
Yeah, it was Sunday. Hard. Yeah, it was. We saw the Ganassi guys swapping the lead back and forth, but that was more just fuel. You know, that was kind of worked out with fuel. But as far as like passes made, it was at the death of the straightaway. Like it was right at the end of the straightaway. You would be able to get the run, and it was you had to make a damn near bonsai move into the corner in order to make a pass. And it wasn't the draft, it didn't seem like was as effective. And yeah,
it's pretty incredible. We didn't see any wrecks from contact in turn 1 and 3 because I like a few guys got in the grass in turn 3. or not, or down
several
the back
guys.
straightaway. Yeah, several guys got in the grass a little bit, and pretty amazing car control considering how hard they were pushing these things.
Yeah.
So I think what was it, Sage or was it Santino who got in the grass a couple times?
Probably Santino.
Yeah,
it's a toss up. You flip a coin.
Yeah,
they're
both
I think
insane.
They both did, but I think one of them did more than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I honestly, that's something they got to work on, because it was extremely hard to pass. I looked over at you, said it reminded me of the Cup at Indy a little bit, and that's obviously it's not good, and they'll get it figured out. I feel they and track conditions again, they weren't the best for that, and then. Yeah, I mean, it's just something they're gonna have to work through.
It's only really concerning to me because we've had, I guess, like, I feel like ever since we've gone to the Universal Aero Kit, we've had, I think, one great 500. For my eyes, 2019 was close, but mostly when I think of that race, I remember Alexander Rossi just absolutely going farther than the car should have been able to handle. But yeah, I feel like ever since we've done this, 2021 was the only great race. 2020 was different. Obviously, it was in August, so obviously it was going to be brutally freaking hot.
Yeah, I had fun with 2020. The duel with Takuma and Dixon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of the same as this, where it was hard to pass.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it made it a little lackluster. Yeah, the Universal Air Kits, they, in my opinion, definitely maybe not an overhaul, but could use something else. I haven't been necessarily thrilled with the racing in IndyCar the past couple of years. I think there's a lot of things that maybe need to be worked on to get back to the great racing that we saw. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't really get into IndyCar until like 2014, 15. But I felt like 14, 15, 16, we saw a lot better racing product than we have since we've gone to the Aero Kit, the Universal Aero Kit.
I mean, I was definitely fine with getting away from the Aero Kit super speedway racing that they had to some extent, because it was
it was dangerous. It's something, and that's one thing I feel like you got to find a happy medium.
Yeah,
because I felt like the DW12, I feel like that was good racing for the 500.
I mean, it had that same kind of thing to it. 2013, we had like, what was it, 75 lead changes or some shit, or maybe not quite that many. It was like 60 something or 70.
Yeah, it was a lot, and you could pass.
Yeah, but it was.
I mean, Ryan Hunter-Reay came from 19th to win the race in 2014. I mean,
but it was more passing from the fact that you were a brick in clean air. That's not really the kind of racing I want to see.
Well, I mean, what do you gotta pick one then, dude. I mean,
you don't have to pick one. We had that last year.
You do.
No, we had the perfect balance last year. Now the only problem is if the only way to get that perfect balance is the perfect set of track temperature, or
Yeah, exactly. You can't rely on that. You almost got to pick one. Do you want the aero sensitive, it's hard to pass, or do you want you're a sitting duck if you're out front?
I would prefer hard to pass.
It is hard. Okay. That puts you in one category and maybe me in the other. So, I mean,
that's fair.
It's one thing. Yeah. They gotta try to find a happy medium, between, you've got to find a happy medium between the DW12 where you were a brick and you were sitting duck out front, the 2015 package, or 2015, the Aero Kit package where the racing was absolutely insane. and then this package you have now.
I feel like we could change the rear wing, and that would change a whole lot.
I think so too.
Yeah. Not like a major overhaul, but I think we could go back to the drawing board a little bit on the rear wing, and I think that would pay dividends.
Yeah. I think a lot of the DW12 did not have to do with like the bumpers.
Yeah.
Created like just a channel of air that made it,
drag.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the same thing with the aero kits too. They had those massive freaking bumpers on those things.
Yeah, I mean the wings are so small. Like, I mean, you look at this. This is a what? IR 06?
That's a
2008.
2008. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that. That is. Look at the size. Move this out of the way. Look at the size of this wing. On here. And you compare that to modern day Indy car, and the wing is tiny.
I got one back there. Yeah, you barely see it in the background.
And so the wing is tiny. And I might be completely wrong, but this is what I think. I think what they're having to do is they're having to put so much front downforce in it because you have this tiny wing and you don't have any rear downforce in it. And I think it's creating just hard to pass. It's almost like when the Cup cars in 2017 and 18, they had to put so much front downforce in it because they had none on the rear, and it was and also so much side force, which don't necessarily have to worry about that too much in IndyCar that I know of. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much.
We should have gotten an expert for this video.
Yeah, we should have. Well, I think it's more fun to talk through this ourselves, and then we'll have someone else critique it later. So I feel like it's kind of like that. I feel like they have to put so much front downforce in it, and then once they get in the wake of another car, it's hindering their ability to pass.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're definitely on track with they got to do something to the rear wing, to punch a bigger hole in there, or do something to add some rear downforce in it.
Find a way for it to punch a bigger hole, but not like the biggest fucking hole.
Well, and that was one thing we said that contributed to Jimmy's wreck was he had a lighter fuel load in it, which he hadn't had that all day, and he had so much front downforce in it that when he went in the corner, I mean he took he went in the corner and the back end he oversteer. Just a ton of oversteer.
Yeah.
And got the curb and got on the wall. So, I feel like there's not enough rear downforce in the car. And I feel like that's hindering. That's to make a long story short. Yeah.
But, I mean, on the flip side, there's got to be a decent amount because Ericsson was able to put that thing wherever he wanted. So
I think that is a testament to Ganassi. I mean, look at how many bullets they had in the chamber. I mean, Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, all month long we talked about Dixon was super fast. Palou had the best of both worlds. Obviously, Palou had the pit road penalty, entering a closed pit.
Well, no, he was able to do that because they needed the fuel, but the caution came out, so that's what cycled him to the back. It wasn't because he pitted there.
It was because he entered a closed pit and he got a penalty is why he went to the back.
He didn't get a penalty. He lost his track position. He didn't get a penalty. You're allowed to enter a closed pit.
Oh, yeah, because he did. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, he went to the back, lost his track position. He was out of it.
Yeah.
Dixon got a speed penalty there with a couple to go. And then Jimmy Johnson was doing his own thing. So, I mean, Ganassi had so many bullets in the chamber. They had 5 really fast cars. And when it came race day, they had 4 really cars that were also fast. And also, when they got out front, they were hard to pass. They were very hard to pass. And I think that's what it was. Ericsson got out front and his car came to life.
Yeah.
I think those cars were made to run out front and they could pull away like nobody else could, just because they had more all-out speed than those guys did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and totally lost my train of thought there.
I guess we can get into the ending of the race. Now, they threw the red flag after Jimmy Johnson's crash, so we could get a green flag attempt to get a green flag finish.
Now, what's your so what do you think about that?
So my only so 2020 we finished under yellow. The circumstances were a little bit different because who was it? Connor Daly, I think, hit the inside pit wall. That would have been a long cleanup, and I still don't. I guess it's just solely the cleanup is why we didn't do it there. The reason I even bring that up is because it seems like it's been a little inconsistent on when we do and when we do not attempt, red flag the race to get a green
race
flag
officiating
finish.
Inconsistent. Wow. Never would have guessed.
Yeah. I just feel like something like that, it should be pretty cut and dry. Like, hey, do we do this or do we not do this? Now you could argue 2020, they weren't worried about, like I heard someone say, it's about the fans. So in 2020, we didn't have to worry about the fans in the, paying customers. Everybody was watching on TV and you could watch it for free. It was on.
We all know.
NBC. So I guess I don't feel like your race officiating should be based off of how many paying patrons are in the facility. That seems a little arbitrary to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's because back when NASCAR, when they did the race back to yellow, and they used to end races under yellow, back in the early 2000s, and they had a red flag lap. They had, if you were past this lap, we were not going to red flag the race. It was going to end under caution if we couldn't get it cleaned up. I think maybe IndyCar could benefit from that rule.
Yeah.
Because I get what you're saying. It is a little bit confusing.
Because ultimately what we did here was red flag the race, end up with the entirety of the same results back to, I think it was 7th or 8th, maybe even farther. And we tore up one more car. We didn't really gain anything from this. Now we got to see Marcus Ericsson snake his way down the straightaways, which was entertaining, but the dude should have won the race about 10 minutes before he actually did.
Here's my argument with that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's racing. Wrecks happen, and you have to know whether he should have won the race or not. You still gotta. I understand why they threw the red flag, because it would be maybe not a black eye, and this is my opinion. Maybe it wouldn't have been a black eye, but it would have put a sour taste in a lot of fans' mouths if we were on those last 6 laps under caution.
Yeah, IndyCar has enough room to improve with how quickly they can get a wreck cleaned up. In reality, they should have been able to pull that thing off the track, and we would have been going again in 2 laps.
Well, exactly. They
Maybe
can't.
3.
So I feel like at the very least, they can red flag it, be like, all right, let's red flag it, take our time, get this track cleaned up properly, and then give the fans a finish. Whether it's the same outcome or not, we owe them to at least try instead of throwing in the towel. And whether it's about the fans or not, or whether Marcus Ericsson was gonna win the race or not, that's racing. Shit happens. I don't understand this argument of we shouldn't have thrown the red flag.
Racing shit happens is not an argument for race officials essentially manipulating the finish or attempting, not maybe even attempting to, but that's what that would have been. That's not really the same argument. Racing shit happens is you blew a tire while leading the race. It's racing shit
happens is when a caution comes out when you're going to win the Indy 500. And guess what? They decide that they're going to put a red flag out so we can have a finish. I mean, we're lucky we got the same outcome, but I mean, I don't know. I think the red flag was justified. I think that was fine. They've done it before.
Yeah, I said,
it's nothing new. It's not like they've never thrown a red flag before. They've done it plenty of times before, and it's just racing is, like it or not, want to be a purist or whatever. It is entertainment. You want to get a green flag finish. It's nothing as egregious as we've seen in plenty of other racing series. So, I mean, I feel like this is a non-thing.
Essentially, for me, it comes down to consistency.
To me, at least.
For me, it comes down to consistency because we haven't done it every time. So it comes down to you haven't done it every time. What is the threshold? When do you decide to do it? What circumstances prevent you?
Do you remember when Connor Daly wrecked in whatever year it was, 2020? What lap that was on?
I don't remember what lap it was. It was earlier than this. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
It was either earlier or it was right around the same time.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get your argument of we want to be consistent with how it is, but I mean,
for me, it's either you write it in the bylaws that you either always do this or you either always don't. I don't want it to be a judgment call. If the bylaws say you always do this, if there's a wreck within 10 to go, that you red flag the race to make sure to give us the best chance of a green flag finish, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I don't want to be up in the stands questioning, are we going to red flag the race or are we going to finish under yellow? I just want to know.
Well, I mean, I get that, but I don't get that because, I mean, you're going to know either way, whether you know it right then or you already know. Yeah. So, I mean,
when I get to the track, I want to know what the rules are before we start. Put it that way.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like circumstances like that, yeah, you could put a rule in place, but I feel like also circumstances like that where there might be special scenarios where, yeah, we think we can get this cleaned up in a timely manner, maybe a little bit longer than it would take to run the 6 caution laps, but let's go ahead and try it. And a wreck where it's like, damn, this is going to take a while. It's not worth rushing to clean this up to finish the race. I mean, I'm fine with that being a judgment call. Like, you should never throw in the towel, especially on the biggest stage in the world. Yeah, like, you should never throw in the towel. Like,
that's fair, but
there were 6 laps to go.
Yeah,
6. It wasn't 2. It wasn't 1. It wasn't 3. It was 6 laps to go. Guess what? It probably would have taken. They probably could have gotten that cleaned up if they had really pushed. They probably could have gotten that cleaned up when we would have had like a 1-lap shootout. But they threw the red flag, took a little bit more time, got it cleaned up, got Jimmy's car off the track, got him to the infield care center, and we saw a race. Granted, you can make the argument that it wrecked another car and it put people in unnecessary danger. But I mean, I hate to be this guy, but I mean, that's racing. Like, you understand the risk.
I mean,
and you understand that the show must go on. You have to. A lot of people would have been pissed off. You have a sellout crowd. You have a sellout crowd at Indy 500. I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I mean,
if they would have. I mean,
Marcus Ericsson. Drivers understand the risk of doing it. And I'm not saying we did this, but we need to, whether drivers understand the risk or not, which they do, we don't need to be putting them into further risk. Again, I'm not saying that we did, but we don't need to be doing that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't feel people like to do this too much. And we've done it a lot lately because of the All-Star race with Ryan Blaney, the this with Marcus Ericsson. People are too eager to give a race to someone to be like, oh, this guy earned it. We shouldn't have done this because this guy earned it.
Ryan really did pass the checkered flag on the last lap, but yeah.
No, I mean, we all knew the rules. Well, we didn't all know the rules, but they were yeah, but they were set. They were set. They were set enough to where some people knew the rules and he didn't. He did not cross the finish line under the rules set in that race to win the race. You do not, in my opinion, you do not earn the win until you cross the finish line under the checker flag. I'm sorry. I am so sick of this fucking bullshit where everybody's like, well, they shouldn't have done this because this guy deserved it. No, he didn't. You could pop it to Kyle Larson, Pocono last year. You could make the argument, if there would have been a green, white, checkered, and then he blows a tire. Well, they should have just thrown the caution, or they should have done this, and he earned it. No, he didn't. Anything can happen. Marcus Ericsson could have blown a tire. He could have easily done a Jimmy Johnson and wrecked the damn car with a couple laps to go.
Putting a NASCAR equation in this is kind of
that wasn't a good example at all.
It doesn't work for me because NASCAR has their own rules that can indefinitely.
Forget I said that. I was just trying to make an example. I don't like the argument of you shouldn't do this because this guy earned it already. He did not earn it. Marcus Ericsson did not earn the Indianapolis 500 victory until he crossed that finish line.
That's fair. I think more of what I'm doing here is risk versus reward. I know what you're saying, but I don't think the reward we ended up with was really worth the risk of what not that it was like a major risk.
So be it. Okay, it wasn't, but at least we tried.
Okay.
We had the satisfaction of getting the outcome that, it was the same outcome, but we at least tried to give as much racing to the people as possible.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
What I love the most about this segment is I'm not really upset about this. I just wanted to talk about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's definitely, it is something you might not be upset about. There's a lot of people up in arms about it.
There are definitely people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm advocating for that side because I understand both arguments completely. Yeah. I understand both arguments.
Well, let's talk about the finish of the race. So the red flag happens. And we get the restart, and we'd seen all day the restarts were the prime opportunity to pass because you couldn't pass worth of shit. Pato gets kind of held. Pato awards second. He kind of gets held up, and Ericsson gets away. And then we get to the white flag, and Pato has a hell of a run down the front straightaway. But, dude, like we said, the Snakey Swede, Marcus Ericsson, he was on pit road, basically. He was underneath the commitment line. He hit the fucking commitment line, did he not? Coming down the front straightaway.
Oh, I don't know if he hit it or not.
I'm pretty sure he hit it.
He hit the white line, the inter line. I don't think he hit the commit line though, because if he hit the commit line, that would. I want
to look back and see. I think he almost did. And he was going top to bottom. Yeah. He earned the Indy 500 then.
Yeah, no, that shit was awesome. And then off of turn 2, I think it was.
No, hold on. Here, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
How do you? This is another thing people were talking about. How do you lift on the outside? Pato Award gets to the outside of Marcus Ericsson. How do you lift in turn 1 of the Indianapolis 500?
Because we've seen where guys have lifted in turn 1 and gotten a run down the back straightaway and had another opportunity in turn 3.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
understand that.
That's what I assume Pato was thinking.
I assume that, or you could assume that. I also, it's the last lap of the Indy 500. We know people are going for it. Wreck could happen. My opinion, you gotta go then. You cannot wait. You cannot wait for maybe there's an opportunity. And he didn't get that opportunity. The caution came out.
He wasn't going to get it.
He wasn't going to get it anyway, but the caution came out when Sage wrecked. So, I mean,
he's also, it's also, you don't necessarily want to be that guy that Sato's entering turn one. Not just because you don't want to wreck.
I don't know, dude. I've defended Takuma Sato for that. Because goddamn, he wanted to win the Indy 500. Yeah, it might have been a dumb move, but goddamn, you got to do what you got to do. You got you look like a moron doing it, you got. I mean, he is in that position. We're sitting on a couch talking about it, and he's out there doing the damn thing.
And now he's got two of them. So
yeah, exactly. So I would fully give it to Pato if he sends it into turn one, and damned if it does, damned if it don't.
That'd have been a hell of a finish to the race, because the race would have ended right there. He'd have gone in the corner on the outside of Ericsson. It would not have stuck, and he would have biffed it. That'd have been the finich. It'd have been a hell of a way to go. It'd have been a hell of a way.
Yeah. But I mean, it is, that's my thing with it. I think Pato, I mean,
I think that's the thing.
He's holding the steer. Again, we're sitting on the couch. He's out there doing the damn thing. So, I mean, I don't know.
That's the thing too. It's like, I have a hard time getting onto him for it, because whenever I look at it, he was not gonna make that. And
no,
whether it's he didn't do it because he thought he could get another run, or he knew he wasn't gonna make it, I think both are fair, because you get paid a fairly good amount of money for finishing second in the Indy 500. It doesn't have the prestige of winning the 500, but it's a pretty good payday, and it's better than biffing it and finishing. I guess he would have probably finished like 27th or 26th or something.
Yeah.
I just dropped it. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like that has got to be part of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. I think, I would have gone for it, but then again, like I said, that's why I'm sitting here.
That's why we wouldn't have made it to the Indy 500.
Yeah. To that now.
Fuck it, I'm gonna send
going down the backstretch. Yeah, I mean, Marcus Ericsson, he was underneath. He was on the apron on the back straightaway. I mean, dude, I'm surprised he didn't. I thought he was going to wreck just swerving like he was. I was trying to break the draft.
I was fully expecting him to bust it loose.
I mean, dude, because it was top to bottom to top to bottom. I mean, dude, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like he was going through a fucking like slalom course.
Yeah, I mean,
going down the fucking back straightaway at Indianapolis. Like
2019, Pagano did that one time down the back straightaway, and I thought I was surprised he made that work. Ericsson did it fucking 3 straightaways in a row. Yeah, and he would have done it a 4th if the caution hadn't come out. It's just like, man, I don't know how he made that work, but congrats to him. That alone was incredible.
Yeah, and he obviously wins the race. Sage Karam wrecks, finishes on the caution. Marcus was going to win anyway, unless he lost it going down the front stretch trying to break the draft.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, he wins the race. David Land, we had to save him from jumping off the top of the grandstands.
He was like, hold me back, bro. Hold me back.
Yeah. David said the night before the 500, if Marcus Ericsson wins, he's going to jump off the top of the grandstands. I texted him with like 5 to go. I was like, don't jump. So you guys are welcome. Marcus Ericsson wins. I don't know a ton about Marcus Ericsson. I know he came from F1.
He hit Grosjean that one time, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. He's one of those guys that's like, he's been under the radar. He won a couple of races last year. What did he win? He won what?
Nashville and Detroit.
He won Nashville and Detroit. And it's kind of like one of those guys that I feel like he doesn't give enough credit for what he's done. Because, I mean,
he's been overshadowed by his teammates.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Yeah, he's kind of, Pelot won the championship. last year. Dixon's obviously Scott Dixon. But he is, I mean, he's leading the points right now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something like he almost reminds me of like a William Byron.
Yeah.
In a sense, where you have these two polarizing, you have Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, two of the biggest names in the sport. And then William Byron would arguably be the top guy in any other organization, but because of where he's at, he's not. And that's kind of where Marcus Ericsson is. He could be a lead guy at a team, but he's like the juggernaut that is Ganassi. Yeah. And I feel like now he's gonna get that respect he deserves.
I want to give Ericsson a lot of credit.
I will show that motherfucker respect.
When he came in a few years ago, I kind of thought he'd be more like I was predicting more of like a Max Chilton type IndyCar career from him. Don't do a whole lot. Most people kind of forget who you are in a couple years, and
I didn't forget you, Max.
Yeah, I know. Your biggest fan, Max, if you're watching.
Yeah, that's Max. Right yeah. I still hold on. I can't get it now, but I still got my Max Chilton koozie in this table.
Yeah.
Got my shirt upstairs.
But that's kind of what I was thinking. He would end up. He didn't do anything for a while. When did he even start in IndyCar? I don't even remember. It's been a few years. But yeah, he didn't do anything for a while. Finally got those wins last year, and it was just like, oh, Marcus Ericsson's won now. That's weird. Probably won't happen again. Then he won Nashville. I was like, okay, that's weird. Had to, Colton Herta had to wreck himself for it to happen, but cool. It happened twice.
That's funny. That's funny.
And
Marcus went bird up in that race.
Yeah, I did go bird up in that race. Yeah. That was gnarly. And now he's an Indy 500 champ. Like, what the fuck?
It's weird. Out of all the drivers at Ganassi, that was number 5. I
mean, I'm starting to feel like Dixon's never gonna win again. I hope he does, but I'm starting to think he's not. Palou is starting to.
How did he flub it, man? How did Dixon had him covered, man? Had them covered.
Scott Dixon he lost the 500 from digging too hard.
Scott Dixon, the Iceman, he thawed out a little bit, clearly, and he fucked up. That is insane. I couldn't believe that shit.
I could.
I mean, I could because of what, but I was like, oh my god, he did the damn thing.
I wasn't exactly watching his pit entry when it happened. I knew he was pitting, but I wasn't watching. I turn to my left, and Colin's just like, he sped. He had to have fucking sped, and I'm like, what? He goes, no,
Scott Dixon.
I'm like, what? He's like, no, he wiggled it. As soon as he got past the commit line, he wiggled it. And I'm like, maybe. Bam. Fucking comes around the next time by and does his drive-through. I'm like, oh my God, he just did it again. It's always something with Scott, man. And it's wild. Usually not his fault. At least he's got that one.
At least he's got that one.
At least, honestly, it sounds weird. At least this one was his fault. When a guy's
a lot of times it's not.
When a guy's snake bitten at a race, I would rather them lose because they did something other than like a freak thing, like, oh, I don't know, the caution coming out right before you need to pit, and then your fuel, and then you got to redo it, whatever. 2017, the crazy thing that was. So yeah, I'm for his sake, I'm kind of glad it was just driver error, as weird as that may sound.
No, I definitely get what you're saying. Yeah. Whether Dixon gets another one or not, I mean, he's got that one.
Obviously he's an all-time great. So
yeah, maybe I'm weird. I feel like the Dixon curse isn't as much of a big deal as everybody makes it out to be. Like, I feel like a lot of people were like, Scott has to win another one. No, he doesn't. He got one. He's won fucking 38 IndyCar titles. Like, I mean,
yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to win another one.
He's definitely snake bit, but It's hard to call a guy snake bit when he's won the 500 before.
Well, I don't know. Mario Andretti did everything under the sun, and the main thing people still talk about is the freaking Andretti curse. Now it helps that Michael and Marco both continued that legacy, but still the first thing. And John.
And Jeff.
Good God, how many fucking Andrettis are there? I forgot.
And Tim.
It does help that
there's not Tim Andretti.
There fucking probably is. But I'd love to see Scott get him another one. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, he may never. And hell, Alex Palou may not either, because he's clearly Scott Dixon incarnated. I almost said
hold your horses. I mean, it's his third 500.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got time.
He's clearly already the GOAT. So
I don't know about that, but yeah. Connor Daly led. We got to see that. That was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, that's not new for me, because he led the most laps last year. So
I got to see Connor Daly lead. Shut the fuck up.
I do not like seeing anybody drive that damn 20 Ed Carpenter racing car other than Ed Carpenter.
You fucking gomer.
I don't like it. They should change Connor's number for the 500 and let.
I'm still convinced that Dixon let him go just for crowd service.
Well, that and he could save some fuel.
Fan service. Yeah.
Scott's a businessman. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. He understands.
Yeah. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. A bunch of different guys were running either new cars with new teams, guys that ran different cars for a while, and then the guys running the same team were running color schemes that I barely recognize half the damn field from the stands.
That is true. That is very true. That's something that IndyCar, and this is saying something, I feel like IndyCars, as far as identifying your driver, it's harder to do that in IndyCar than I almost is in NASCAR sometimes.
At least in NASCAR, there's a big fucking door number on there.
And that's saying something, because I mean, I pulled for Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he ran the DHL car every damn week for however many seasons.
Yeah.
But everybody else, it's a lot. You're not as identifiable.
Well, it's like Ed this week was running a teal and purple car. I'm like, that's not what I look for when I'm looking for Ed
sponsorship.
Carpenter.
Which sponsorship. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, I get what you're saying. That's something. IndyCar, it seems like it's on the upswing, but that's one thing that, like, I mean, you can't really work on that. That's not like something.
There's nothing.
It's just
really
just
do
a
about
thing.
That.
Yeah. But yeah, I like I said, Indy 500.
I could barely find Joseph Newgarden all weekend, and he's running a regular Penske livery. It just wasn't the one I'm used to seeing.
Yeah. Indy 500. I had a great time. It was a spectacle for sure. I'll definitely be back. Who knows when, but
20 years from now.
Yeah, 20 years from now. I don't know. It was. I think I spoke for it earlier in the pod. It was everything I had hoped it to be. We could have maybe had some better racing, but that's gonna happen.
It's racing. Shit happens.
Yeah, exactly. Seth, anything else?
Well, we got to do our sundress and dumbass, but
I
love going to the Indy 500. I almost want to not go next year just to see if Takuma Sato wins again. I'm curious if I'm the glue that holds the field together, as far as keeping Sato at bay. But I'll probably be back again because I love going to the Indy 500. It's like for me, it's like the pinnacle of the year. It's the biggest thing I go to. And yeah. I love the people. Oh, I love most of the people. I love the atmosphere. And for the most part, I love the racing. So, yeah. Fucking 500 power.
Sundress and dumbass.
All right. I made my sundress David Malukas because he was the highest finishing rookie.
I mean, I don't know how you can not pick Marcus Ericsson.
Because he's in a Ganassi car.
No one picked him. Nobody
picked him, but sundress. It's superficial.
Marcus Ericsson.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
Marcus Ericsson and David Malukas. Dumbass Scott Dixon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
I think that's pretty. I don't know, man.
Who would you counter with? I could not think of anybody that
there was
made more sense to me.
Dumbass. There was a guy.
Maybe the 12 team.
No. So there was a guy that went swimming this weekend. We were at Newcastle Motorsports Park, and there were a couple hosts on this podcast who were racing really hard, and one of them was trying to one of them was doing his best Sneaky Swede impression, and I tried to snooker Seth, and Seth brake checked me, and I spun and ended up in the damn swamp at Newcastle Motorsports Park.
Yeah, so Buddy is stalking me.
I was stalking everybody.
He was stalking everybody, but he notices
I was on a list at that race.
Yeah. He notices that I'm checking my blind spot every corner, or give or take every corner. I'd usually get like a corner, and then I'd be like, okay, I know where I'm at for a couple corners. But he took note of this and proceeds to hide in the opposite direction.
I was looking at his shoulders. And every time I saw his shoulders start to move, I'd dart the cart in the opposite direction to stay out of his line of sight.
Yeah. So Buddy finally gets close to me. I don't know this because he's been hiding from me. And I've been back in the corner up. We get into the final hairpin at Newcastle.
He had been back in the corner up, and I had been doing some Marcus Ambrose late breaks into the corner, just bombing under people and scaring the shit out of them.
Yeah.
I made it. To my credit, I made it work every time, but this time.
Yeah, except this one. So yeah, I get ready to get in the corner, get off the gas, get on the brake, and I'm spun. I heard and felt that somebody hit me, but I turn around and there's nobody there.
Yeah, and here's my side of the story. I'm directly behind Seth. I'm about, 3.5 inches from his rear bumper. And I decided, all right, here's my time. I'm going to dart out and dive under him in this hairpin. And as soon as I peek my left headlight out, he brakes, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I run in the back of him, spin him out, spin myself out. I am going through the grass, knowing what's about to happen. I'm like, fuck you, Seth. Fuck you, Seth. Fuck you, Seth. Splash Mountain. I'm in the fucking... What made it even worse is on the way up there, David Land. We're talking to David and Kyle. And David's like, yeah, he's like, we're talking about getting in the grass. And David's like, yeah, what you really got to worry about is going in the water. He's like, but you really got to screw up to go in the water. And I got to tell you, man, you don't have to screw up that bad to go in the water.
You only have to kind of screw up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting sensation getting spun out, knowing you got hit, and turning around and not seeing anybody. Nobody going straight, nobody like sideways.
I was hiding.
I didn't know who hit me until I saw Buddy in Kyle's Red Bull fire suit pulling his cart out of the water, and I was like,
yeah,
there's the culprit. I got to figure out how the fuck this happened.
God, dude, that, and then we were out there. You were behind. I just passed you, and Matt Skipper and somebody else were too wide going into a corner, and I went to make it 3 wide, bomb underneath them, and I don't know what the fuck happened. I ended up fucking just absolutely like Dukes of Hazzarding over this fucking curb, like through the air, and I come out the other side like Lightning McQueen in front of him. Just keep going. That was wild. If y'all had a chance to go out to Newcastle, fucking do it, man. That shit was nuts. That was fun as shit.
Yeah, that was a fun track. Fun carts.
We were a couple. Well, I would say I was a weapon out there. I hit one person the entire time, and that was you. When I spun you out.
Oh,
so
man.
I mean, yeah.
The difference between the carts is something else. So when you get into a new cart for your like second or third race, maybe don't go flat out into the first corner you get to.
Big chaotic energy right here.
Big chaotic energy.
Yeah. What a weekend, dude. There was a lot of shit that happened. We fucking actually I want to change my dumbass to West Virginia's highway road crew. They thank you for putting a pothole. Thank you for putting a rumble strip and a pothole on the wrong side of the fucking road. Not that they put the pothole there, but not patching the fucking pothole. Two of the biggest potholes. Like, dude, it was like the goddamn Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they put the yellow line on the outside of it.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid and
really fun.
Got a flat tire at 5 a.m. in the middle of West Virginia. So that's fantastic. Thank you to the state of West Virginia for that. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Luckily, apparently there's a get your money back program. I'm going to assume it doesn't work, but I'm going to try anyway. I have I have the receipt in your car still, so I'll need to get that probably.
But yeah, I mean, fun. We got to hung out with, obviously we stayed with David Land and got to hang out with him and Kyle Cuthbertson and Joe Donahue and them guys. I mean, them the boys, man, love them to death. The Barney squad, as I called them. We got to do a lot of fun things with them this weekend with the IRP and all that shit. And so it was good weekend, man. Fun times. Fun times.
Real fun times.
We got to do bitch and scale.
Yes. The bitch and scale goes from
lowest being how deep that fucking swamp was at Newcastle.
I was thinking the pothole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Actually, yeah. How deep the fucking pothole was.
Yeah.
How high I got off the ground when I hopped that fucking curb at Newcastle.
All right.
I'm going to put it at me making it through the first turn after coming out of the swamp with completely soaking wet tires.
I'm going to put it at me putting
pretty amazing for me, but not amazing for anyone else, maybe.
I'm going to put it at me making like 3 solid ass laps at Newcastle.
What?
I'm going to put it at me making an entire like 3 solid laps at Newcastle.
What did you say before? Hold on.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I did.
There was another word in there.
Ass.
I thought you said 3 solid ass slaps at Newcastle, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I just walked up behind David, Kyle, and Joe and just slapped ass.
I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, but
it's a cutthroat game out there.
Yeah. Go ahead and make sure you check out David Land's vlog. I don't know when that's coming out, but you'll see a lot of us in there. Go check out David's vlog. If you don't subscribe to David, I don't know why the fuck you're not. And go see us.
Yes. Check out our Colton Herta video.
Yes.
I edited. Allegedly.
That Seth edited allegedly. Yeah. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. Indy 500 was awesome. Pato means duck in Spanish.
This has been the big motor, the large motor, baby blade. We wanted an IndyCar version of that. So there we go. That's my half-ass attempt at that podcast. And we'll see y'all next week.